Gemini has got to be the most misunderstood and disliked sign. But just like every other sign, I think there's more than one manifestation of Gemini. I have four main manifestations of Gemini, just like with the other signs. Let's first start off with the fact that Gemini is a air sign, is one of three air signs, is mutable in nature, and is a masculine sign for the most part. So the first archetype I have is the Trickster. So this is a type of Gemini. They're kind of like little pixies. They're kind of like little elves. They like to play tricks on people. They like to make jokes. Usually very light-hearted, but there are a small minority of the Trickster type that's pretty serious. And the serious type, they'll pull pranks on people and tricks on people to kind of teach them a lesson, to kind of teach them like you shouldn't be doing what you just did. Now, if the serious type is amoral, which a lot of Geminis are rather amoral because it's a very cerebral, mental, airy, intellectual sign, so they can kind of like logically explain why immoral or amoral things are okay. So you have the amoral type, and when they tend to pull pranks on people, do tricks on people, it's to get over on them. And they won't feel bad about it, they won't feel remorseful about it. It's more so that's what you get for being stupid, that's what you get for being dumb kind of thing. Geminis can kind of lack feeling and empathy, especially for people who they think are unintelligent. Um, and like I said, they can feel like they deserve to be like the butt of all their jokes, the victims of all their pranks. Chronic boredom too, in general, which explains why they are always playing pranks on people and joking around. They can't really be serious. Like I said, a lot of times because they're lighthearted, plus they're bored. The next archetype I have is the wordsmith. These are the rappers of the zodiac. And if you look up rappers, you'll notice a lot of them are Gemini sun signs. That's because Gemini is very quick with it. They process things really quickly in their head, and they process it in a very intellectual way, and they have a rich vocabulary, Geminis. They're funny and witty, of course, just like most other Geminis. Um, they're good at timing, like when to say things, as well as how to say things. So they can be good comedians, but they can also be good salesmen and good storytellers. And with that, they can be like very manipulative. So, as storytellers, they half the story is fabricated. If a Gemini is telling you a story and it's really good, most of it is fabricated. Just keep that in mind. Now they don't lie. This type of Gemini isn't necessarily lying to get over on you. It's just that they want to make the story more interesting. It's just good at constructing like word salads to like confuse people. So remember how I mentioned they're good salesmen? So beware of that. If you know someone is a Gemini and they're trying to get you to do something, just know that a lot of times they're really cunning. They're really good at manipulating words. It's kind of like in a lot of fairy tales where they tell you to be careful talking to the fairies or the fae or elves. It's like that because like everything that they promise you, there's a little bit of trickery in the wording, and that's how Geminis are, especially this type. The most anxious of all the Geminis. Now, this anxiety, if it's very prominent in their life, it will actually cause them to be not so social, which is unusual for a Gemini. Geminis are usually very social, but instead, this type will like stay in all day and they'll just read book after book after book to get that mental stimulation and to learn more. Geminis love to learn. The next archetype is the best friend. They make friends pretty much everywhere they go. I have an aunt of this type, and basically what she was telling me one day is that like a lot of people consider her their best friend, but she doesn't have any best friends. And that can like really give you a good picture on how Geminis, especially this type, view relationships. Like Their relationships are real to them, but they're not deep. Like if you can stop talking to them today, and they a lot of times they won't really care unless they're feeling lonely or bored. Then they'll kind of care. Other than that, if you're the type of person that you need like very deep connections, Gemini is probably not the friend for you. Just like the other types of Geminis, they're really good at making conversation, drumming up stories, making people laugh. Be truly like very peace loving and friendly and open and vulnerable. Or you can have the other type that's fake as shit and they can't wait to talk about people behind their backs. And they can also be rebel rousers and they can cause people, especially their friends, to fight with each other just for their own entertainment. They don't really have any real friends, this type of best friend. So there's kind of like two types of best friends. There's the good type and the bad type that I just mentioned. Lastly, I call this archetype the genius, and they're the quickest learners of the zodiac. Come off as quite unassuming though, and even like airheads, just because they're kind of living in their head. So sometimes they'll say things that sound really dumb or not making any sense, but that's because it's really because they're not present. It's not so much that they're unintelligent, but it can seem like they are. Now, if you do like assume that they're dumb, like in a very verbal way, like if you try to like explain things to them in a way that you think they'll understand because you think they're not all there, they'll like surprise you though. And I don't know if Geminis do this on purpose or if they do this unconsciously, but you'll be like, you know, explaining things to them in like a really dumbed down way, and then they'll look at you like, why do you think I'm dumb? And then they'll basically explain back to you everything you said, but in greater detail. And it will be obvious that they understand what you're trying to explain to them better than you do. So that's that's a really funny thing that I actually kind of like when Geminis do this. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's like I can't tell if they're doing it on purpose or if that's just something they just kind of do unconsciously. Now they're typically a jack of all trades, but if Gemini manages to find something that never bores them, they'll master that one thing. In grade school, they can get into a lot of trouble or be class clowns. And a lot of it is because just the curriculum is going too slow for them. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I shed some light, positive light on the sign of Gemini. Yes, there's some things about Gemini that can be quite negative, but Gemini has so much to offer. Gemini is a really intelligent sign. They're really fun people. They're really funny people. And they can be really easygoing. So it's not all bad with the sign of Gemini. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time.